Greetings, family, near and far, far and wide,
Woo!
on planet, off
Trust
planet,
me,
in the
we're
planet,
live.
Shambhala. Don't know how it goes already. If your
Trust me.
nature's agreeable, step this way. Trust me, become part of the tribe. You know, the family. Disagreeable. We not got no more time for that. So enough is step back. Come in, my youth.
Yeah, and we're back with Ladycrowne, and we don't stay down, we stay up, and we don't chat pop because it's real talk. Episode 86, you know, star. Trust me. Whew. Greetings to you all. What a beautiful day, you know? What a beautiful day. Gosh,
Wonderful.
fantastic.
Amazing.
Yeah. See them affirmations. I told you. Me and Ladycrowne, you know, us, we stay present, was just on about epigenetics and how you can change your DNA. You know what I mean? Having good self talk and also good outer talk as well. You know what I mean? Speaking it into existence and realizing that you can install new information in your DNA and upgrade it, because a lot of us have got traumas from the past and from our ancestors as well stored into our DNA. You know, it's been proven in science. And also, there was a study that scientists done that had a very good machine that could it could read your thought patterns, and every time you every time you think, there's light waves that are going to the universe. This is why I say to people, you're actually connected to the quantum field. You're creating your reality every single second. So it's so important for you to install the right information and take positive action in your life so you can override the programming that's all already within you. You know what I mean? So we are powerful creators, but as long as we stay with the programming of the past, we're not going to be able to elevate. You know what I mean? From the position that most of us have held for a long time. You know what I mean? So trust me, it's so key for us to really tap in and realize how powerful we are. You know. So yeah, man, and also a great way how to upgrade your DNA, and we mention it many times, is changing your diet. You know, changing your diet, making sure that
It's number one, that is, to be honest with you, isn't it?
you need the minerals. You know, we're in this chemicalized world and we need the minerals. You know, shout to Dr. Sebi out there, got to mention him. We need the essential minerals for our biological structure, because without that, our body's not going to conduct the processes that it's supposed to in the natural way, because trust me, we're in an acidic world when we should be alkaline. And these chemicals, you know, like aspartame, you know, these chemicals are highly dangerous for our chemical structure, and
Toxic, man. The cancer cause.
biowarfare, you know.
Yeah, it is.
And trust me.
And it's, you know, the thing about the aspartame, it's in so many products on the shelves nowadays.
Soda, Pepsi.
Yeah,
things like that.
I mean, sugar was bad enough, yeah? But at least it was sugar. Yeah. This is a chemical runoff waste from nuclear.
Yeah.
And it's like they can't dump it because it's toxic. So what them do? Put it in your food.
Yeah.
And you can notice the taste as well. You know, the difference in the taste. It's
especially when you change your diet. Of course.
Yeah, it's the chemicalized taste from it. You know,
yes.
But it's addictive as well.
Very addictive. You know, they've tested it on animals.
Oh gosh.
Because they know it's all about. They're trying to harvest souls out here. You know what I mean? Mate. And if you're not aware, then obviously you're going to go down that dark path.
They get they get you to pay for it as well.
Yeah.
I remember a family member or two that were addicted to Pepsi Max.
Yeah.
And because it was sugar free, but what it had copious amounts of was the aspartame. And you know, I gave her a book to read. You know, it was called Poison in the Pantry. And the things that you can take out your pantry, your cupboard, your food cupboard, and read and see backside aspartame, and you know the damage that it can cause. You know what I mean? Actually, can cause blindness. That's what these chemicals do, but the addiction was so strong that you know eventually neither she or the half wore glasses, but they ended up wearing glasses. What brought that on? I mean, I'm talking 24 cans in a week. With between the two of them, they would drink that many because it was so addictive. Do you know what I'm saying? Yo, we really, you have to know, there's a biological warfare. It's been taking place on us for many years, and they were able to do it because the small mom and pop shops, the small farms, you know what I'm saying, people growing their own food. That's why we keep saying it's so important. I don't care if you live in a flat or an apartment or wherever you want to call it. Get two plant pot, yeah, and you can grow tomatoes. You can grow bell peppers. You can grow, microgreens. You must start doing something for self that you can verify in terms of its nutritional value. You know what I'm saying? Because what? You grew it. And there's nothing more pleasing. And especially if you've got young ones, your sons and your daughters, trust me, they can't grow up in the system that we're now leaving behind. You can't have them in there because they too. I mean, what was really surprising to me was that they did a study on some children and they weren't aware of where certain fruits came from. They didn't know it was a fruit or a vegetable. They didn't know. So detached because when they went to the supermarket, whenever go pick it up off a shelf, so if it came from a vine or vineyard for the grapes or an apple tree or clementine, they had no concept, and they weren't even taught those things in the so-called education camps. Now that is shocking. Where do apples come from? Supermarket, miss. That's what they were saying. I tell you,
lack of awareness, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what? This has come to me right now. Off the head. Yeah, a wise man once said, "Yeah, you're not your mind, you're what you do. So take the right action, so your mind can work for you." Just deep that, because a lot of people don't realize that programming is there for a reason, for you to deprogram yourself and become a better person. Or that's a persona. I know.
Better man, better woman.
Better man and better woman. Because the action overrides everything that's going on within you. That's why I just said that. So your mind can really work for you if you take the right action. Going back to epigenetics, you've got so much information installed in your DNA that is controlling a lot of people's, lives. But they don't realize it because when you're programmed, you think you're the program. You get it?
Yeah.
So you're just doing what you're doing because you believe that's you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't know anything else.
Yeah.
And it's a great awakening right now. So many things are occurring.
Yeah.
I've got to shout this out right now. Shout out to my mentor Ralph Smart. They done a live stream with 19 Keys. That was a big surprise. I thought, look at that. These two brothers linking up and
we were talking about it all.
It's like we're speaking it into existence.
Like we actually did manifest that. Yeah, speak into existence because when STS said to me, "You never guessed,"
I couldn't believe it.
I was shocked.
I couldn't believe that they linked up. Yeah. So it just shows you that people are coming together. That's powerful, and taking it to the mainstream now. And there was discussing about the gateway. Is it gateway keepers? Let me put
Gatekeepers.
That's it. Thank you. Saying that technology has allowed people to really enter the mainstream and enter a world that wasn't available for a long time because of the TV programming.
Yeah.
Now everyone's got access. Everyone's got access. You can put a message out today to help somebody. And that's a beautiful thing. We're in a new era right now of information, age of Aquarius, and it's time for us to know, not believe anymore, to know.
Absolutely. There you go. And that's the importance, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not to believe, but to know. You're not being speak factually, not actually, because we're acting when we say things that actually, no, it's factually, because to act is to act. It only has one meaning, that's
I never thought of it like that, I never thought of it like that still, actually. I never thought of it like that.
We say it, don't we?
Yeah, we say it. We just say it, innit? You know what I mean?
And without really what we're saying, it just comes out of our mouth because we've been taught to speak babble, and we're very good at speaking the babble, But it's time for us to know. I mean, Ralph says he always says that we live in a world so fake
that what do they say? We live in a world so fake that the truth scares people.
And something that is a fact.
Yeah.
The truth, what is factual will scare people. Because
their mind's full of lies and they've been living like that. So when the truth comes along, what does it do? It opens up open wounds, fam. In the mind. This is why the truth's so powerful.
Yeah.
Sophia Stewart, shout out to Sophia Stewart. Put up a little clip yesterday. Shout out to the people that tapped into that. She said the truth's so powerful, it paralyzes people.
Yeah.
Because they know that, You got to deal with self now. It's
Yeah.
no faking going on.
Yeah.
Keeping it 100. You get
Yeah.
me? That's
Yeah.
why the truth's so powerful. It speaks for itself.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
When you are confronted with truth, with facts, trust me, there's no way for you to turn. You know, I'm not. Don't want to know. Bury my head. You can do all of those things, but the truth is the truth, and fact is facts. You know what I'm saying? So those who want to continue to live their lie, because we've all been living a lie
Yeah,
to all
all of
intents
us
and
have been
purposes,
there, real life.
with the you know, the persona that was given to us and all the rest of it, and everything that's been constructed around you. You know, you know, France, Paris, Marseille, parts of the place is on fire. We're talking about millions of people out in the streets, and you will not have seen that on your television. They don't cover it. Do you know what I'm saying? So a lot of people don't know that's happening. You know, this is France. So what? You get on a plane, you can get there in an hour from here. Oh, you land. It's not that far. Just over the little pond there. And that's what's happening over there. And these people are protesting because of they want Macron out. He's a weft puppet. Everybody knows he's a puppet. They're all puppets. They want him out, and he's literally taken upon himself to change laws. Well, that's a dictatorship. It's no longer a democracy when one man says, you know what, I know that I mean, because we're talking politicians, we're going against his what he wants to do in terms of increasing the pension age, and he just said, you know, to hell we don't know. They will do what they want to do. Him put it up anywhere. So the people are out there protesting, and we know what that means. That with PRO means no test. You know what they need to do is to get onto mkchristopher.com's website and serve it. And they've all the governments have received this judicial notice, but it's for the people at a local level to start doing that as well. You know, to really have impact, and it's changing lives. It really is. And the way that they are doing things, they have to take note of this judicial notice. You know, it's powerful. So it's controlled. Everything that you hear, that you see, it's controlled. And it has to be, because that's how they control the masses. Yeah. If they drip feed you, you know, like the little hamster with the water bottle in its cage, you know, if that hamster went to get some water and it all flooded out at once, it would choke him and drown him. But if you can just get a little drop, just enough to quench his thirst, then that hamster's good to go. That's what they do with us. Drip feed you. And it wouldn't be bad if they drip fed you with actual factual detail and information that you could go and cross-reference and verify. It wouldn't be bad if they did that, but it's not. It's all lies, it's all smoke and mirrors, and it's all to get you into that state of fear, because that's how they run the world. You've got to fear God. You've got to fear the police. You've got to fear the government. You've got to fear your father. You see what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying?
Even in school, if you get bad grades, it's fear.
Yes.
You get me? Fear's been installed into so much in this system. You know, this is how they control the masses, man. You know, fear everything out.
If I don't do this, then this is going to happen. You spoke it, so it's going to.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? That's how they've done it. That's how they've been able to take control of your mind, your heart, and your soul, your very essence of who you are. They've captured it.
You know, your body's got a system within it, you know, flight and fight. So because of the programming in most of our minds, it happens all the time for us, even when fear's not even it's not even here. It's false evidence appearing real. It's only real when you tap into that frequency, and you can tap into it at any single second, like I like to say. This is why I say it's so key for us to work on our energy frequencies. Otherwise, you're gonna fear yourself, never mind anybody else.
Well, you know? Some people fear their own shadow.
You know, it's not a joke out here. This is why I say you got to do the shadow work, baby, because that shadow is always there, and if you don't integrate it, then it's gonna be attacking you. You get me? Real life, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well,
sorry.
Go on, let's see. You go.
Because I just mentioned the shadow. Shout outs to David Goggins, yeah? His interview's starting to take off right now on the channel, and he's helped so many people deal with their shadows, realizing, like, face yourself, look in the mirror, realize who you are, and remember that you can change it, you know? And this is why this guy's stories hit so many people, because he dealt with the truth, you know, the raw and uncut truth of himself, and how he's developed to this mental state right now. And when you get real, yeah, you'll realize that a lot of people ain't real, and that's real life. Get me? Shout out to David Goggins. That man went through real suffering and pain, and this is why he's reached so many people, because so many people are going through that, but they're not able to express their pain. You get me? And have real conversations with people. So he's helped people really deal with the shadows of life, so they can elevate out of that darkness, because the darkness is there for a reason, for you to become an alchemist and transition it to the light. You know what I mean? But I'll just give you that message there. Shout out to David Goggins.
Oh, absolutely.
Man.
Beautiful.
Beautiful man. That man there shows so many people that life's all about perception, you know?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people love to run to the pleasure of life, but not to the pain, the good pain that can help him elevate.
Help
you get me?
grow.
Yeah, because they know how the brain works. People love the pleasure centers. Ooh, busting out. You get me? Not realizing that you're losing energy. You're losing energy. You need to do the things that make you uncomfortable for you to grow. Trust me, because a lot of people love the comfort zone.
Yep.
You know, but like I like to say, because trust me, I not know David Goggins, even though he had the biggest impact on me. Balance. If you're gonna have pleasure, also have good pain as well. You know what I mean? Create balance and harmony within your chemistry. Challenge yourself. Don't just run towards the pleasure, instant gratification. Because trust me, there's no magic pill for life.
No.
Life's a marathon. Remember that. You know. Blessings to you all.
You can pace yourself as well.
Yeah,
you can't
you're trying to run. You're trying to be 100 meters.
Yeah.
You know,
No, don't work like that.
Bolt up in this thing.
No.
Like Mo Farah.
Yeah. You got to be like Gabriel Selassie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Long distance Ethiopian runners.
Yeah, man.
And just on that point, actually, because yesterday STS came in the room. So this is what time? It's always 10:20. So I looked at my watch and I said, I said, nah, it's 9:20. So he went, I think the clocks have gone forward.
Yeah, they went forward.
I thought backside already, you know what I'm saying? So, when you're there thinking it's 9:20, or I'll probably get up about 10. No, it's 10:20. So everything literally shifts. And yet again, it for me, it's always a constant reminder when we have clocks going back, clocks going forward. The world was created perfect. Man come along with this side, say it's gonna add an hour, by an hour, because Ethiopia is on time. There's a 13-month calendar in Ethiopia. What we got 12-month calendar. Then we have to have a leap year because of the hour that you understand. You see how fractured it is and how messed up it is. Then you wonder why the things are taking place on the planet in these parts of the world. Well, we know why. Everybody's off point, off kilt. You know what I'm saying? We're not turn up straight as STS says. We're not. We're lean on one side. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
we're not standing up straight. All of those things are messed up. You're told that your number 8 is the octagon. Yet you're told the 10th month is October. That's messing with your brain. Sept in French is 7, but it's our 9th month, which is neuf.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? All to keep you away from what? That number 13, because that's what creates a council. 12 men and women and 1 fiduciary. There's your 13. And what they've always done, what they've tried to do, Friday the 13th, I can't get out of my bed.
Superstition, isn't it? Yeah.
All to keep you away from forming your own councils, from forming your own countries, from forming your own communities. Because that's all it takes. 13 men and women to stand up and say, you know something? This is what we're going to do outside of what UNO are doing. Like the Amish them in America. Them did the same way with them buggy and cart. Now man's driving up and down in EVs, electrical vehicles. These people are still you know what I'm saying? They said, UNO go on with what UNO doing. We're gonna stay true to nature. You know what I'm saying? Now people are driving around in these electric vehicles that when they catch fire, then can't put them out. And if one catch fire and there's 3 or 4 next to them, all of them, they're pambliers. I think it takes 30,000 gallons or tons of freaking water to put out one battery. What does that tell you? And I tell you something now, if these EVs were so amazing, they had them in the 1800s. Why did they phase out? Why? If they're so amazing, we still have them till to this day. Because obviously they didn't work. Do you know what I'm saying? And we did a podcast some time ago, didn't we, STS, about the lithium and the cobalt, and
Oh, the
how,
batteries.
yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
poor
yeah, yeah,
little
yeah.
African children,
Stripping out
them
the minerals out of, yeah,
dying.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, you know, in terms of this, it's carbon neutral, and
Exploitation, isn't it?
it's listen, the amount of destruction that it leaves behind to make one battery that will at some point have to be replaced, and then can't, what they're going to do with this battery, well, God no, it can't be recycled. But then you got the brother, Maxwell,
Yeah.
Chukumbutsu, or Chukinbatsu, as STS calls
Maxwell
him,
chicken. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. Shout out to him.
who has made a battery that never needs to be charged.
Then you got other brothers out there that made the water car.
Oh yeah, oh yes.
That runs on water.
There was a council meeting. I think it was Colchester in Essex, and some really good speakers went there and spoke to the council, because they're talking about changing it up and the electrical vehicles and rah. Yo, when them put the evidence in front of them, and the woman said, you know what, if you want something that's really environmental friendly, then how about hydro? They got hydro buses. All it push out is what? Steam, which is still a vapor.
Yeah.
Now, those exist, but guess what? Because the big multinationals, these big BlackRock, Vanguard people, them can't control it and take the resources and the money from it, they don't want to push that. So they're telling you to reduce your carbon footprint, yeah? Instead of introducing something that will take care of the environment. It will help everybody. But oh no, you know, and your councils. Listen, I've a mind that they put these people in place who are maybe academically bright, but then they are stupid. I say it again, academically bright, but then they are stupid, because they swallow all bullshit. They're affiliated to what, like your councillors, they're either Conservative, Labour, or SNP, or whatever they are. So therefore they'll follow the party line. Otherwise they've got a problem. So they can never actually be grassroots and serve the communities that they went out canvassing, saying that they were going to serve. Because at the end of the day, once they got your vote and became the councillor, became the MP, or whatever they become, they now serve the leader of that council. There's a clip out there that I think it was oh gosh, John Campbell or one of those YouTubers that put out there. It's only about 2-3 minutes of Keir Starmer, the leader for the Labour Party, and the woman that was interviewing him was asking him, you know, which would he rather, you know, to have the World Economic Forum that he reported to in terms of, you know, governing the country, or you know, local England, United Kingdom, Labour Party. And you know what he said? The WEF. Yeah, he said that he'd much rather be affiliated to the World Economic Forum. This is the leader for the Labour Party. We must know, folks, it's over. This whole system is bust, it's bankrupt, it's corrupt, it's not serving the men and women that it purports to. It never has done. The only thing is that we never realised it until perhaps about 2-3 years ago. For some people, I've known for a long time. Do you know what I'm saying? Because it's evident from what's taking place on the planet, how men and women were struggling with lots of different things, and yet they were not receiving any help. But, you know, outsiders could come and get whatever they wanted because of, you know, the fact that they've come here from war-torn countries. And a lot of them have come from war-torn countries, and those war-torn countries are like that because you've got these hegemonic countries like America and England and all the rest of it, who decide that they want their resources. So they'll go in there on whatever pretext to steal what belongs to another country, or to ensure that the petrodollar, the US dollar, is the top dollar, and everybody has to use it to buy their oil, to buy whatever it is they buy. They've got to use a US dollar to do it. And they had that hegemony for so long. But it's all over. BRICS nations are here, the Shanghai Corporation, the petrodollar. Well, guess what? They're trading with oil. And the amount of countries, you just do some research on BRICS nations and those that are actually applying to join, you'll be surprised at some of the countries that are joining up to the BRICS nation. They're moving away from the US dollar. It's over. It's gone on for 100 odd years, and most of those fiat currencies only last about 100 years. This is 112 years. So it's over, you know. And whatever we use, whether that's digital, gold, silver, It's got to be backed by tangible assets. It has to have some backing. You can no longer have a system where you just print or put on the screen something and give it value, and it's not backed by anything. You can't have a system like that. You know, we have there, I don't know what to say. We have a royal family, so they say. We had a monarchy, but you know, when Elizabeth II was coronation, 3 days later, yeah, 3 days after that coronation, and she didn't sign it either, because if you look at the old document of the coronation, she put a signature at the top of that document, not at the bottom. And you know, and I know, if you're writing a letter to somebody, you're sincere, yours faithfully, what do? You end it with your autograph. Well, most people say it's signature, you know, that because of the system that we're in. Yeah, hers was at the top. Yeah, so she was she became head of state 3 days later, because she actually abdicated her position as the queen 3 days after. It's called the 3 days rescissions rule. You go out and decide that you're going to take on a mortgage or whatever you're going to take on, your death pledge loan, and after, they give you 72 hours. It's called a cooling off period, but it's also known as the rescissions rule. That's something in law. You can actually, within 72 hours, say, you know something, no, I don't want to. I don't want that mortgage anymore, or I don't want that loan, and you can withdraw from it with no combat whatsoever. But I don't want people to know that. But that's exactly what Elizabeth II did, and she became head of state, not the queen, and therefore she was now privy to the Rothschilds. I mean, because let's face it, the Rothschilds and the banking and the private banks, that's what owns everything. That's why whenever she went to the Bank of England, she would have to make an appointment to go. She couldn't just turn up, because that 12 square mile is a separate country. It has its own police force, its own everything. The London and the City of London, people get the two confused, and think it's all one. No, it's not. But that's your monarchy. Now we've got King Charles III, who's supposed to be coronated in May. He'll probably do the same thing, because apparently they've had a couple of thrones made for him and Camilla, and they're called the chairs of state. You know, why would you call them that? Why aren't they just the throne for the king and the queen? Because yet again, he's going to be doing the same thing that his mother did, and probably 3 days after his coronation, will also abdicate his position as king and become head of state. Yeah, it's all messed up. You know what I'm saying? Completely and utterly. Don't follow none of that foolishness. I know there'll be people out there with their little Union Jacks waving it and their little badges with his face on it. I mean, but they're all lizard people, them. So, one of tap follow them. Yeah? Tap follow them, because these people aren't real. Come in, STS.
I heard that Warren Buffett has invested, actually bought a company, bought a gold company.
Oh, yes.
And you gotta watch what the rich are doing, you know. You know, you gotta invest in the right
Follow
things
the
out
money,
here.
yeah.
Because if you follow the money, then you become the money. In terms of, it's all energy anyway. Money's energy. Money's not actually money.
No.
It's not real.
No.
It's all in your head. But yeah, invest in precious metals such as gold, silver, platinum, and also cryptos. And just watch. Trust me, watch the the banks, because you know things are occurring that you need to be aware of, you know.
Yeah.
And as long as you're aware, then you're able to not just have your eggs in one basket, you know, be well rounded.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
You know? So when shit hits the fan, you're able to react in a very good way, because you're prepped. You've been you know, you've been ready for it, you know. So yeah, be a visionary as well, you know. Look into the future. Like Sophia Stewart out there, look into the future, and you'll be able to prepare and change your present moment to work for you for the future, because a lot of things are coming, but the ones that are prepared, they're going to have a great future. They're going to have a brilliant, fantastic,
Yeah.
because it's all about what dimension you're in. You know, you don't want to be still in a 3D, baby. You want to elevate to the 5D. Trust me. So you'll be living in love, abundance, freedom. You know. One thing I've learned with life is that we're all living in different dimensions, you know. I said this to my T yesterday. Like, you could be walking down the road, see a homeless man, and someone is driving a Ferrari whizzing past you, 1 millionaire. different dimensions of life.
Totally.
You know, so it shows you that, you know, the universe is always showing you how life really is. It's down to what energy you're vibrating at. You know, just like Nicholas Tesla said, it's all energy, vibration, and frequency. So remember that people are choosing their reality. Even that homeless man, he's choosing his reality. Yeah, things may have occurred to him, but he's still choosing his reality. That guy that was passing a Ferrari, he's choosing his reality. You know what I mean? So we need to realize that the big awakening is that we are creating our own reality.
Yeah.
That's why the program is crashing, because people are realizing, oh, wait a sec, I got a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have.
Yes,
Believe
you
it
have.
or not.
Absolutely.
You got a choice.
Yeah.
Whether to take the bam bam boogie or not.
Yeah, for
you know
real.
what I mean? You got a choice whether to live your best life or not. You got a choice whether to be in fear or not. You see what I mean? So it really comes down to your perception now. Now you need to work on your perception of yourself, who you are.
Yes.
Because until you find out who you are and how powerful you are, you're going to be left with the limitations that you've been set. You see? So it's time to really wake up now and realize that key thing here just come to me now. Unity. We need to unify now. It's time. The separation business is just an illusion that creates a confusion. The reason why a lot of people want to do that, the ego business, you know, hiding away from who you truly are. You get me? Come together, man. And then we can really build great communities and create a great new world. You know?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean, this is the, you know, first time in history, you know, for every man, woman, boy and girl who's on this planet. Trust me, we're all purpose to be here in this day and this time, and actually, you know, be in a position to, you know, play an integral part in shaping the new world. You know, not one that has been inherited or herited, one that you, I, STS, and everybody out there can play a part in shaping this new world. Your reality. Do you know what I'm saying? Your own central bank. You no longer have to be reliant on somebody else's note, promissory note, promise to pay the bearer on demand the sum of. There was a time when you could go into the bank and hand in $20, £20 and receive the equivalent in gold or silver, because it was backed by something. It was backed by real money. Now, God bless where you can't get out of there. And when you do get this plastic or this paper, look at what you can buy with it. Inflation is raging. And you know, Credit Suisse, I mean, they said UBS bought out Credit Suisse, but I mean, they're all failing banks. It's all illusion to make you think, oh, well, yeah, they bailed it out. You know, we're talking about systemic banking failures in all of those countries with those central banks. You know, I think there's only 2 countries that never had a central bank, and we know what they did to Iraq, Syria. You know, the ones that they went for last, in terms of, because we know what happened with Afghanistan. And if you look at all the wars that have been raged in all of these different countries, just look at where all the central banks are, then you'll see what happened. And look at where there weren't any central banks, and then you really begin to understand that it's always been about the control of the planet via the US dollar. And this I don't know what it is, these psychopaths who will go through any lengths and you know, cause all kind of things to take place in the world where people do lose their lives, or they'll go to war to fight for something. But the men and women that are thinking they're fighting for queen and country, and you know, for my country, you are fighting for the bankers. It's a corporation. Yeah, your loved ones are losing their lives so somebody else's currency can stay on the top. That's what they've gone to war for. That's what wars do. You know what I'm saying? Make the globalists bigger and fatter, and then, you know, you've got a flag draped over your loved one's coffin when they fly them back in, and more time than coffins when they were coming back from Afghanistan were full of what do you call it there? What drug was it that it shipped into America?
Oh,
cocaine. No, it wasn't cocaine, was it? Heroin. Yeah, the poppy, because that's what that grows out there like grass. You know what I mean? It was harvested and flown back into the country.
You just The war on drugs is the war on the people.
Yes.
There's no war on
There
drugs.
was never
How
a
can
war
you
on
have a
drugs.
war on drugs?
Just listen to what it says.
It didn't even make
That
sense.
makes sense when you
like,
hear it
trust
back.
me, it's a
War
big
on
illusion,
drugs.
fam.
It was a big illusion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The war on drugs.
Trust me.
War
That's
on
when
the
America
people,
really
fam.
started to go downhill in terms of their addiction rates and all the rest of it. When that war was taking place, and it wasn't a war, trust me.
It's a chemical war. That's what it was. You know what I mean? Because, like we said earlier, bio warfare. You know what I mean? Because they know they enter something within your system, and obviously you're not going to think right, are you?
No.
You're not going to be. You're not going to be sane. You know what I mean?
You're crazy.
Insane.
That's how they want you.
I mean?
Now they've got the fentanyl, and then they've got some derivative of that, and
Sedcae
you see
and all that.
people just just in, like motionless, stood in the street, motionless, not moving, and might be slouched over, no movement, like in a catatonic state.
Bit like the Mamba, you know. The
Yeah. All of them things there.
Yeah.
Look at what they're doing to our fellow men and women, and trust me, it is those so-called powers that be. Somebody referred to, when we talk about them as the elites, he said, no, don't call them elites, call them deletes. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what they need to be doing. They need to be deleted, purged off the face of this planet by any means necessary. Because I'm telling you, some of the things that they've done, you cannot come back from and say, something. I apologize for the wrong that I've done. Please forgive me and carry on living your life. There's some things that you just can't come back from. Trust me. You can't come back from it. There was also, I don't know if anybody's seen it, there's a clip on YouTube going around. There was a sting operation that was performed on some of the MPs, where this Korean undercover journalist set up a ghost company and decided to canvass England, United Kingdom, take that back, United Kingdom politicians to see who would be willing to do some work with them and what rates they would charge. They approached about 20 or 30 and whittled down to about 5 or 6 that decided that they would go further in terms of having this Zoom meeting linked with them. Matt Hancock was one of them. And when they asked him, what he was thinking about in terms of, his charges, and you know what this man said, Madazalam Matt, £10,000 an hour. That's what he was going to charge him. For what? I'm not quite sure what he was going to do for that. There was Kwasi Kwarteng, or whatever his name was, the short-lived Chancellor of the Exchequer. 5 of them were there talking about what they would take in terms of remunerations for whatever it is they were going to do. Those are your politicians. Parley means to speak, means lies. They speak lies. They're not hiding it from you when you hear them. Every time politicians open their mouth, that pure lie material. But that's what he is. That's what she is.
They're master manipulators.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
They are speaking lies because that's what parliament means. They're not hiding it. It's you're speaking English, but they give you a French word, so you don't think like the mortgage. Oh yeah, I got a mortgage to pay.
Death pledge.
But they can't call that a mortgage. You go to France and ask them if they got a mortgage. They'll tell you, the mortgage don't. It's related. It's death. So it's not called mortgage in France. You know what I'm saying? That's the fraud. That's the evil ways these people have taken what's been pure and perfect and decided that they're going to corrupt the very creation, the very nature of who and what we are, because they just decided that they want it all. You will have nothing and be happy.
Just come to it now, don't protest for one day. Make your whole life a protest,
Use your pen.
Trust me, use your knowledge. And there's one thing I clocked on, knowledge isn't power, really.
No.
It's about your execution of it.
Yeah.
This is why I say your action is everything.
It's all about your actions.
Talking, it doesn't really resonate with the ones that know about the mind and consciousness. You get me? Because there's levels to this thing, man. There's levels, man. And when you start raising your energy, especially Kundalini as well, you start to realize a lot of us aren't tapping into the God consciousness. We're not in the Christ consciousness. And that's where we need to get to. Yes. Because without getting there, you're not going to have that halo around your head, fam. You get me? Like Jesus.
Your corona.
Your corona.
You can't access it. You can't access that higher self.
Trust me. And it has to be open. You know what I mean? And as long as it's blocked, then obviously you can't reach that consciousness, man. You're going to be down here all the time. You get me? Low level thinking. You get me?
Yeah.
You got to be high level. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean?
Yeah. Look at decalcifying the pineal
The
gland.
sun, the Amon Ra.
Oh, I tell
Trust
you,
me, that decalcifies it straight away.
yeah.
Straight away.
Trust me, and I tell you, don't look at the sun. Put sunglasses on. It's harmful. That's
Them
the
one, them one,
yeah.
you know, them ones.
Keep you away from your
Keep
God
you away
self.
from
You know
your
what I'm
God
saying? They
self
don't
and the
want
life
you.
force energy.
Yeah, they want that
Trust me.
pineal gland to remain calcified, because trust me, when you start to decalcify, and there's lots of things that you know, minerals that you can take, the
Iron
monotonic
and
gold. You know what I mean?
cold
That
water. Yeah.
gold water. There's so much that we can do, and it's all out there. All we've got to do is ask it. And trust me, you walk different, you talk different. You know,
Trust me,
everything
different posture about
everything
you.
about you changes.
Different,
Everything about you changes once you start to decalcify and stop putting in the foods that calcifies it, because that's what they gave you. As soon as you're there with your newborn baby, they must tell you about formula instead of you use what the nature give you to breastfeed your babies.
One thing's come to me with the pineal gland. The reason why it's so powerful, and one of the reasons why they call it the all-seeing eye as well, is because it gives you feeling, clear feeling. So basically, anytime you eat food, now your body's going to react in a different way, because a lot of people, because their pineal glands calcified, they can eat junk all day, go about the business, even though it's hurting them, but they're not really feeling that hurt until it, you know, it accumulates. Then they got a disease. So this is why the pineal gland is so powerful, because it gives people clear feeling and clear seeing as well. Trust me.
Clairvoyance.
You actually
vision.
You actually can see much more than the average person in terms of the spiritual realm. So, because remember this, you're only seeing 1% of the light frequency in this reality. So you're practically blind anyway. You're not really seeing, because there's different dimensions around us right now. And there could be an ET right next to me right now. I don't know. You know what I mean? Because you have to realize that we're in a big illusion. You know, our ancestors said this is the Maya.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Trust me. So you got to know thyself, or you're going to be left with a program. You know what I mean? You got to tap in, man.
For real.
Life. You know, decalcify that pineal gland, baby.
Yes, clean it up. Clean it up.
Yeah.
The last thing from me, it's good to see a lot more people, men and women, coming out and speaking about the medical intervention that a lot of people have taken, you know, through their lack of knowledge. Because what happens when you don't know, you get screwed. And I was listening to a brother on YouTube, Edward David, as a former BlackRock fund manager, and there's some things that he was saying, because he was being interviewed by Kitco, and she was asking him a lot of, you know, poignant questions that, you know, needed to be asked, and it was good to just hear his perspective. But what he was talking about in terms of the medical intervention that people had, he's written a book called Cause Unknown: COVID Epidemic of Sudden Death 2021-2022. And what he did was a lot of research, and a lot of the data that they got from, you know, the VAERS reporting program in America, in terms of, you know, what's happened to a lot of people, and some of the figures that he accumulated were just staggering.
That's the third time.
Here we go.
That's the third time now. You know?
Yeah, we're absolutely just staggering. There was estimated 300,000 bang bang boogie deaths. Yeah, jib jab deaths, estimated 300,000. 1.36 million disabilities, 13.6 million chronic injuries, and that is just, well, that's 15 million injured in total, which is 5% of their population, and that is just conservative figures. So you know that could be 10 times more than that. You know, it will be interesting. The I don't know if the book's been released yet, but it'd be interesting to read that when it does come out. He did say that in terms of the crisis, you know, the banking crisis, to, you know, people to protect themselves with the tangible assets like we've spoken about before. He recommended about 6 months worth of food, water, just in case. It's better to have it than not to. And that there could be, and there is a high possibility of a lot of social unrest, because whatever has happened will not be hidden. Everything that's been hidden is going to come into the light, and it already is doing this. What you're getting is it's been drip fed to you, because I suppose if they released everything at once, people would really lose their heads, and that's what's going to cause most of the civil unrest, to be quite honest with you, when people are fully aware of what's happened, not just in the last 3 years, but throughout their lives. And I guess the realization of what's happened and how it's impacted on them, their loved ones, in terms of maybe people not being here anymore in this physical realm because of this medical intervention. That there's going to be a lot of civil unrest. But guess what? Those of us that have been aware of what's been happening, and taken whatever precautions and preparations that we need to, I guess we'll get through it. Those that haven't been, and don't have any preparations in place, are still caught up in all of the banks with whatever they think they might have in terms of money. I don't know. I really don't know how it's going to pan out for them. But that's why STS and I've been doing this for the last 2 years now. Well, actually,
2021, July.
2021, yeah. In terms of the YouTube, just to try and alert people, to get them to start thinking for themselves, doing for themselves, becoming more self-sufficient, self-reliant, doing other things that they can generate an income from, where it's not dependent on the job. We've been speaking like that for some time now, because we just knew what was going to happen ultimately. And I think this is it. This is the eye of the storm. This is the precipice. This is where it all explodes, basically. And it is happening all around you. Take your eye out of television. Look at what's happening in other countries. We talked about Lebanon, the Nigeria,
Yeah.
the Naira, and all of those things. So whatever, these people might be putting out there, it's only to make you feel fearful and then compliant. And, really and truly, there's only one word that you ever need to say when you don't agree with something.
No.
Simple. And I'll end it on that note.
Yeah, I'll just end it on this. Try your best, to stay in the love frequency as much as possible, because, the fear's all around us, but it's how we respond, that determines the outcome. Remember that. Keep on loving yourself wholeheartedly, and remember how powerful you are,
Oh, yes.
You've got this, we've got this.
Yeah, man.
As a collective.
Yeah.
Remember, the collective consciousness creates reality. So just try your best to send out that good energy, and it will come back. Trust me, as long as you keep consistent. And us, consistency is the key to victory. Trust me.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't take a day off.
No.
Trust me. Just like them. You get me?
Because they don't rest.
You see, when you really stand up for life, trust me, great things occur, because you're dealing with faith. You're dealing with courage, real courage.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Instead of, being in those lower, dense vibrations that a lot of people are dealing with because of the program. We're here to give a great message to y'all, to really, help not only yourself but your family, your loved ones, man. It's so important,
Yes.
Trust me. But yeah, man, big ups to all of you out there. Enough love. And keep working on your mind, body, and soul in order to achieve your goals, because we're there with you.
Spiritually.
You don't know. Bro and sis, stay blessed. And yeah, STS and Ladycrowne over and out. Peace and blessings.
Peace, my people.
Peace.